part of every season, which is why we have partnered with AHN this NFL year. To close out the regular season, we're going to take a look at the league-wide knee injuries and the impact it has on players to get back onto the field.
Yeah, over the last couple of weeks in the NFL, I think we've seen a variety of different injuries. Some of those have been more catastrophic, and so injuries that involve a dislocation of the knee or say, compound fractures of the knee, so bony injuries. There's also then on the far spectrum, there's just sprains, right? So just you have a tweak or a sprain of one of the ligaments of the knee. And so that can be things like the MCL or the LCL, you might hear those two names. And so somewhere in between catastrophic and sprains are tears, right? So people talk about an ACL tear. And so the unfortunate thing about those is they just have a long recovery process. The rehab for those sometimes takes 6 months, 9 months, and the athlete might not be back to their sport for a 9 to 12 month period. So that's the sort of the spectrum of those injuries. So the difficulty of an ACL injury is mostly to return to a full sport requires a surgical correction. Folks who have a tear of their ACL, but they're not returning to a sport might be able to do rehab and could live without that ligament. For an athlete or someone who is in the athletic population, a surgical correction and then that rehab period is going to be what's needed to be able to return to your sport. And even then, we know there are some inherent potential weaknesses that can come with that, or some future signs of arthritis that come with having an injury during an athletic career, in high school or even in college. Yeah, in particular for ACL injuries, the female population is a little bit higher at risk, actually, for those types of injuries. And so we know there are strengthening programs that we can do to help prevent what are often non-contact injuries. We talk about that. So ACLs are generally not injured through a tackling maneuver, right? They're injured through often a cut or a pivot or a land after a jump. And so we know there are physical therapy-based, strengthening-based exercises that can help prevent those types of injuries from occurring. That's strengthening of the leg musculature and things like that.